So, when you picture the underworld, who comes to mind? Probably someone like Yama, right? The stern judge deciding everyone's fate. But what if I told you he's just middle management? Yep, there's a CEO running this whole cosmic operation, a supreme commander pulling all the strings from the shadows. So, who is the real big boss of the afterlife? The one the famous 10 Kings of Hell actually report to? Well, it's a name you've probably never heard, but he holds the ultimate power over life, death, and reincarnation in the entire Taoist pantheon. Look, we all know the frontline guys, the 10 Kings, including Yama. They handle the day-to-day judgments. But here's the thing. They're not the top of the food chain, not even close. There's a higher authority, a seat of ultimate power that's almost always overlooked. And that's the real mystery we're going to unpack today. All right, it's time to pull back the curtain and formally introduce the Underworld's Chief Executive Officer. He's the one with the final say, the one who oversees this entire, vast system of cosmic justice. And his story? Oh, it's one of the most fascinating in all of mythology. You ready? His name is Fengdu Dadi, and while the 10 kings are down in the courtroom handling the individual cases, he's the one up in the corner office who signs off on the final verdict. He is the true, and often forgotten, supreme commander of the entire netherworld. So let's break down his business card, shall we? His full title is the Lord of the Northern Capital of Fengdu. And that's a big deal, because in Taoist cosmology, the north is the direction of yin, of water, of spirits. It's the natural place for souls to gather. His main office? The legendary Lufeng Mountain. To really wrap your head around this, think of it in modern terms. If the underworld were its own country, Fengdu Dadi would be its prime minister. Every major decision, from how severe a punishment should be to the exact terms of a soul's reincarnation, it all has to cross his desk for approval. His authority is absolute. So how does a god this powerful even come into existence? You're probably thinking some epic cosmic battle, right? Or a grand divine decree. Nope. The real story is, well, it's more like a brand evolution that started with a historical pun. Seriously, you heard me right. Look, this idea didn't just pop up overnight. It took centuries to cook. It all started way back in ancient times, with texts linking the north to the spirit world. Then, fast forward to the Eastern Han Dynasty, where a local legend about two Taoist masters started to gain traction. And finally, a scholar named Tao Hongjing made it official, cementing Fengdu Dadi's place at the top of the Underworld's org chart. All right, so let's meet the two guys who basically created a god by accident. Their names were Yin Chong Sheng and Wang Fengping. These were real Taoist practitioners who, legend has it, achieved immortality in a place that would eventually be known as Fengdu. So, to honor these two masters, the local folks started mashing their last names together, Yin and Wang. Put them together, you get Yin Wang. It was just a nickname, a simple shorthand to talk about the two famous immortals from their town. And here is where everything changes, because the term Yin Wang, well, it sounds almost exactly like the phrase for King of the Underworld. Over time, the story of two local heroes got twisted into the legend of a king of the underworld ruling from Fengdu. And just like that, a historical pun, a simple misunderstanding, rebranded a mountain into the headquarters of hell. Okay, so how do you get from a funny-sounding name to a massive celestial organization? Well, Fengdu Dadi doesn't fly solo. He's running a divine bureaucracy that is so complex it would make any Fortune 500 company look like a lemonade stand. Let's take a look at the org chart, okay? At the very top, you've got the CEO, Fengdu Dadi. No surprise there. Those famous 10 Yama Kings, think of them as his regional VPs. Below them, you've got 6 main divisions, or palaces, handling the big picture stuff. And then it gets even crazier, with 72 specialized bureaus. 72. Let that sink in for a second. 72 different departments. We're not talking about a simple courtroom here. This is a sprawling, full-blown government with an office for literally every single aspect of a soul's journey through the great beyond. The detail is just mind-blowing. And some of these departments are just incredible. You've got the Verification Bureau, that's basically cosmic HR, running background checks on every soul that comes in. The Rewards Bureau, they're in charge of dishing out bonuses and merit pay. The Punishment Bureau is, well, you can guess, but my personal favorite has to be the Soul Losing Bureau.
They handle the memory wipe protocol before you get reincarnated. It's the ultimate forget your password protocol.
So you might be thinking, how on earth do you interact with the big boss of the underworld? Well, believe it or not, he's a huge figure in folk religion, and people worship him, not really out of fear, but more out of respect for cosmic order, and maybe to give their ancestors a helping hand. There are a few key dates you'll want to circle on your celestial calendar. Some say his birthday is the 9th day of the first lunar month, which, get this, is the same as the Jade Emperor's, kind of symbolizing the balance between heaven and hell. But the really big one is the entire 7th lunar month, known as the Ghost Festival, when the gates of the underworld are wide open. The 9th day of the 9th month is another big day too. And the whole process is actually pretty straightforward. You can visit a temple dedicated to him, or to a related deity called Fengdu Dadi. The offerings are simple, things like flowers and fruit, because it's all about sincerity. People usually pray for their deceased relatives to make sure they're doing okay, or they might ask for help getting rid of some bad luck. And this is the part that I really want you to get. Worshipping Fengdu Dadi is not about being terrified of what happens when you die. For people who've lived a good, decent life, he's not a figure you need to fear at all. He's the ultimate guarantor of justice, the protector of the cosmic balance.
All right, so let's bring this all home. What's the final takeaway? What is the ultimate mission statement behind this entire incredible, elaborate system? What's the whole point?
To make his role crystal clear one last time, it helps to compare him to another powerful deity, Fengdu Dadi. You can think of Fengdu Dadi as the prime minister, managing the entire portfolio, life, death, fortune, the works. Fengdu Dadi is way more specialized. He's the minister of justice, laser-focused on the legal and penal system of the underworld. And really, this whole thing boils down to one simple, powerful idea. Good is rewarded and evil is punished. That's it. That's the core belief that this entire underworld bureaucracy is built to uphold. It's a system designed to make sure that, in the end, the cosmic scales are perfectly balanced. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. This entire mind-bogglingly detailed system, from a celestial CEO down to 72 different departments, was created to serve one single idea, that justice will always be served. So what does our deep, fundamental need for a system like that tell us about what we as humans value most of all?